get started, thank you for joining me this morning to learn about how I worked through many of the common analyst pain points in operations and supply chain using many of our Microsoft business applications. So before getting started, I just want to give you some context of my background. Right now, I'm in the Microsoft Excel product team. But before this, I was doing supply chain planning also with Microsoft for Surface. I did that for about a year and a half. And before that, I was doing supply chain consulting. So I've been there, like operating the planning process, getting all these inputs from several sources. Excel was at the same time my best friend and my best enemy and my worst enemy. And so I just want to share all these different things I did to make my life better and to get to better business outcomes. So just to get a show of hands here, who works in operations, in supply chain? All right. And who's already using tools like Power Query? All right. And Power Pivot? Flow? All right, cool. So I hope this will give you additional tools and will, for those of you who aren't using it yet, show you some of the value that there is to using them. So we're going to cover some of the business context for operations, supply chain, but this applies to many other industries as well. Any industry or process in which you're getting data, processing it, and sending it out to another step in the process, we can leverage any of these tools to have a more structured, a more scalable, and a more reliable process. Then we're going to see the different applications of the tools. And this will be, I'll go in depth and show how to build it in the tool itself. There are many other sessions for each of the tools. So like if you're interested in some of the additional content, you should definitely attend some of the more in-depth sessions. And then the outcome and some best practices and recommendations from seeing this firsthand. So in terms of business context, we have a process that has high complexity, high cadence. You're running processes daily or weekly where there are multiple partners involved. So it can be internal collaborators, your marketing teams, your sales teams, your ops teams, logistics teams, as well as external collaborators in the form of suppliers or different vendors that are doing part of the ecosystem and doing specific marketing work or any kind of processes. Then business dynamics that are constantly changing. For instance, in supply chain, we had sales forecasted for a launch, and once the product went out in the market, it could be like way up or way down compared to what the forecast was. So these are inputs that are constantly changing. And in the IT front, you have tools that are like a dime a dozen. It's like you have to pull from different tools. You have to cope with different initiatives that are not only multiple, but changing the tools that you're used to. And so this creates an environment where you have to manually update spreadsheets continuously, where there are ad hoc analyses that need to be done for X or Y session, for the weekly leadership meeting, and the list goes on. And then this turns into a reactive approach where you're not really thinking ahead about the business and what's going to be coming, but it's more, how do I put off the fires that are happening all the time? And so this isn't scalable. This is error prone. It's limiting your attention to the short term, to the urgent and not necessarily the important part of your job. And well, unfortunately, it creates an intense and unpredictable workload that is not ideal for your work-life balance. So hopefully by the end of the session, you'll have like good tools to spend less time in Excel. As much as I love the product, if you can automate part of what you're doing, that will be a great outcome. And so with this, here's a typical planning process where you have several teams that are giving information between each other. And you can extrapolate this to many other processes and functions. In this case, we have a demand team that's giving input to the finished good team. They're putting together their plan, and then they pass it on to a materials team that is exploding that into the individual components. So without going into too much detail here, I just want to go over the key elements that you can do in order to improve the process and in order to get ahead of the game and be have the best business outcome. So the first thing is you have to pull information all the time from different sources, from data cubes, from flat files, from CSVs, from Excels. Leverage as much as you can the data prep automation. This Power Query is the best tool for that. It works both in Excel and Power BI, so that's a familiar environment once you learn it at one. Once you have that data, combining it and creating your models with Power Pivot will be extremely powerful. Same thing, this is the underlying technology for Power BI as well. And then automating your workflow. So whenever you have, for instance, a supplier that gives you back confirmations, many of these happen in structured tools, in Dynamics, in SAP, in different structured tools. Sometimes, depending on the supplier, it may not be onboarded yet. It may be a test run. It'd be something smaller. But you get this frequent flow of information for them. Flow is a great tool to automate those workflows. And finally, sharing insights with Power BI in a very scalable way where you don't need to worry about people like adding a row or adding a column or adding a sheet in your spreadsheet. And it just has a data model that people can interact with, set a custom view, and have their own information will be very powerful and scalable. So I'm going to go into the detail of each of these, starting with automating the data prep with Power Query. So many of you may be familiar with the workflow where someone sends you an email. It has a flat file, hopefully in the same format that they sent it in last week, not necessarily the case. And you just go into Excel, open, copy, paste it into your spreadsheet. It can be between 2 times a week and 20 times a week, depending on your process and function. Here, unfortunately, the person who sent it already decided to pivot it. So if you ever try to do this before Power Query, you'll know the pain. I remember I had a macro that did it. The thing is, it needed to be a perfectly structured data set for it to work. So this is much easier today. Once you get to automate this process, all it takes is you have your data spreadsheet, you click refresh, all the heavy lifting is done by Excel. It connects to the different data sources, queries, and brings your data back into the grid already pivoted. So the technology behind this is Power Query. It is a data connectivity and data preparation tool that powers both Excel and Power BI. A typical workflow is connecting to your data. There are a multitude of services that are supported, and this continues to grow in terms of connectors. So it can be Excel files, it can be CSV flat files, it can be SQL servers, it can be data cubes, Access database if you're still using those. And it allows to transform that data. So think of it as the automator of all those steps you're manually doing today. And then to combine it mostly with Power Pivot, which we'll also cover, and then share it through Excel and Power BI. So to do so, the initial setup, which we're going to walk through, may look like lots of steps, but you're going to do this once, and then it just continues to run. So we're using the files from SharePoint connection. This enables me to just go into Teams or directly to SharePoint, copy the library location. Here, it has the full folder, so make sure that it's just the library, because Power Query is going to pull all the contents. If you have lists or other objects living in SharePoint, it's going to pull all of those. And then once it connects to the source, it's going to show you the content of it. It has all your files organized by folder. So in this case, what I'm going to do is like 2 big steps. One is filter down to the right files. So here, I'm just going to choose one extension. I want to pull Excel files because that's how I'm getting the data. So filter down by extension. And I'm going to pull only the files from the last 4 days because this is a weekly process in which I'm just filtering down those files. So to do so, I go to the date modified. And you can choose specific files, but then it will be hard-coded. In this case, I'm going to say in the previous 3 days. So here, or today, because I also want to include files that were modified today. So with this, I get down to fewer files, just the ones I want to take. But I see that I here have the first file is my projected availability, which is already part of the process data. So I'm going to filter down to the folder within that SharePoint library that is the input files. So that's going to trim it down to that data set that I want. And this looks different if you're connecting to a SQL server, to any of the other options, but the rationale at the end of the day is similar. You're just filtering down to that subset of data that you want to connect to. The next step is you have these attributes, and this, if you're not familiar with Power Query, this is not the grid itself. This is a Power Query editor, and you have additional objects for each of the rows. So here, once I expand the content, I get this view where I can see a sample file for the content that I filter down to. So once I select the data I want to pull, in this case, the tables from the spreadsheets, Power Query is going to create additional intermediary queries that are functions for the data to be processed. So you see them on the left, grouped under sample query, and that's going to be called, that's the second step, which is processing your data once you have filtered it down. So I mentioned that the spreadsheet here was pivoted. So in Power Query, all you need to do is select all the columns and then right-click or go to the Transform tab. And there's an option which is Unpivot Columns. So this will create a single row for each of the columns and get the data in the form that I needed. So I name my query, and then I load it into the grid. I'll talk a bit later about loading it into the data model and how that's different. And many people ask, when Power Query, when Power Pivot? So I'm going to touch on that. And here I have my data in the grid. So next time, you don't have to go through each of these steps. You just click refresh, or you can even automate those refreshes in Power BI and get the data in the form that you need. This could be adding additional fields, adding additional columns, or trimming some of the lines if you're filtering down to a specific time frame. So with once you have that data, the next thing is in that process was combining it. So many people, when they first learned, and this was myself, when I first learned Power Query, I was like, this is amazing. I'm just going to stop doing VLOOKUPs forever and have a single table where I have everything joined. But you quickly hit a limit when you need to join tables that are not living at the same level of aggregation or that don't have the same structure, and you cannot have a single line that ties to both of them. So here's where Power Pivot comes really handy, and it allows you to join different tables and avoid having to manually pull the different keys into Excel. So a typical process here looks like this. You have your data, the one we pulled before, but you need to add your specific calendar. So you probably have a 445 calendar that may have a very specific quarter end, fiscal year end. And so it's a custom calendar for your products. You have an aggregation, which is your program. So in the past, you would just VLOOKUP everywhere. It used to take forever. Now that's much faster in Excel. I don't know if you've heard, but we made this function orders of magnitude faster, probably more than 20 times faster than it used to be. And so if you're still doing this, you get an advantage there, but here I'm showing you, I will show you how not to do it. So this is how it would look. You would bring your data together through VLOOKUPs and then start creating your reports or pivots. Does this resonate? Does this look like stuff you are doing or what we're doing before? Okay, I see some nods. So with Power Pivot, you create a data model. If you've worked with databases before, this may look like a relational database diagram. And at the end of the day, it's very close to that. The difference is that you do not have to perfectly establish it from the start and have each of your tables already built, because at the end of the day, you're pulling data from many different sources. So this allows you to create that kind of model. And the best practices for those data models also apply here. So ideally, you have a table that has measurements, and you have separate tables that have dimensions and are tied together. We had a session yesterday with Ken Paul's. It's going to be listed at the end if you want to check it. The recordings will be posted after the conference. So it's this in much more depth and best practices around this. So once you have your data model set up, you have the data model fields that are, you can see, for instance, the consolidated data, which is the quantity, then your calendar dimension table, and your program SKU dimension table. And this is a simple one just to go through the process of building it. But this can be a star or snowflake configuration where you have many different tables that are joining to each other and where you can start pivoting on different elements of them. So here, how do we put this together? The first thing is getting your data into the data model. So if you created the Power Query query to filter your data, the way to do it is you check the Add to Data Model box, and this will load it into your Power Pivot data model. There are other sources. For instance, here I have the SKU and calendar. I'm just going to assume they live in a specific file. So you can also pull them through Power Query into the data model. There's an option to use them directly from the grid, so you just refer to an Excel table. But it is much cleaner for you to use Power Query before you go into Power Pivot, even if that option seems to be appealing because it's one fewer step. Because this will allow you to scale the data. If tomorrow IT says, okay, here we have this data cube that has your SKUs, you just point the Power Query to that SQL server instead of having to create a new connection from scratch and reset all those relationships. So here, I'm first adding the data into Power Query straight from the table in Excel. and then formatting it the right way. Here by default, it'll try to auto-detect the fields, but if you end up with an ABC123, it means that it's a generic field, and once it's loaded into the data model, it won't be respected like that specific formatting. Even if it looks like it's a date, it will just show you numbers, like the integer way of showing the dates. And once we have it in the data model, I click in the Power Query Editor in the Data tab, and this allows me to go into the diagram view. Initially, it just has the tables, and I start creating those relationships between them. So, like I said, your dimension tables, which are the program SKUs and the calendar table, should be like a one-to-many, so you should have a unique identifier for those. In this case, the date is the unique identifier, and the SKU is the unique identifier. And you join that into your measurements table. So once I have that, I'm finishing here the setup, and I add just a pivot table, and I have all those fields listed. So I have the consolidated data, the programs, and I can start pivoting them directly without being worried about VLOOKUPs or redoing it every time that the data changes. So here you see the table's a little bit different than the previous one. It shows repeated program and SKU. Ideally, once you have the data model set up, you can hide it from client tools, and then you just have this clean version in which there's no risk of taking the dimension fields from the data table. So here we have the data table only with measurements and the slicing tables only with the dimension. So that's the step with Power Pivot. By this point, you already have like very powerful tools to automate a lot of the workflows. So here, when I started implementing this, when I first joined the planning team in Surface, I was spending probably 10, 15 hours a week in Excel. Once I started like chipping away some of these tasks and automating them, I was down to maybe 7 hours and able to focus on not, oh, what is it that the data is showing? Oh, the data is wrong. I need to like pull all these VLOOKUPs, but focusing on, okay, we have this decrease in demand. How do we react to it? We have this increasing cost for a specific program. How do we react to it? So it's less time just on crunching data and more time on adding value and thinking about the business problems. The next step, which helped reduce a lot more time, was flow. So instead of using workflows where you have a email coming, Teams message here, I updated this data, and so on, I was leveraging Flow, which basically allows you to create automated workflows between your favorite apps and services, and you can get notifications, synchronize files, and create a bunch of actions whenever any of those triggers happen. So here I have a set of examples. The first one is saving Office 365 email attachments to OneDrive for Business. This is the one I'm going to show you how to set up in Flow. But there are many others, and there are several third-party connectors. So you can see here that we can connect into, I don't see, oh, yeah. You can connect it into Azure, you can connect it to Twitter, to external services as well. So whenever there's a tweet, you do different steps. You analyze the sentiment for that tweet. You store it in a specific database. You can create a sales lead in your CRM, and so on. So this is a tool that I love, and the really nice thing about this is there's no coding required. This just requires you to know what where your data is living, and with a few clicks, you can set it up. So that's what we're gonna do next. So here I go to flow.microsoft.com and start with an automated flow. So I'm gonna name it as Safe Production Plan. Here, instead of taking the email that I was getting from the planners, I'm gonna save it automatically into that SharePoint library we were pulling from Power Query. So my trigger is when an email arrives to my inbox. I'm gonna filter by whether it has an attachment or not. So I only wanna pull emails with attachments. And I'm gonna filter down by subject line, which is production plan. This could be by a distribution list. You can filter out by if it's sent to a specific distribution list or from a specific person or a specific domain. The next step are the actions. So I'm gonna save it into SharePoint. So I'm creating a file every time that the email arrives and it satisfies the criteria that I set. Here I see my most recent SharePoint libraries, and so I pull the right library and then navigate to the right folder. So in this case, it's living under the shared documents and the production plans. So once I select the plan here, the input plans, I need to determine what I'm going to name the file and what's going to go into the file. So I'm going to just use the same name that it was created, but I could save it by date source using the person who sent the email. And then the content of the files will be simply the attachment of the files. So this is it to set it up. Here I can test it. So save and test the flow. It's going to be listening to those events. So I'm going to pull my library. This is my SharePoint library synced using the OneDrive client. And we see that once the email arrives, it's saved there directly. So it showed also in the browser, your flow has run successfully. And now I'm getting the email saying, hey, this is the plan. I saved it as a Word file to show the difference in the folder. So this is useful also for cases in which you want to automate approvals. Here you can set whenever a file is created, it needs to go to a person in the org or your manager and then get an approval. Once that approval is received, the file can be saved or it can be connected to a Dynamics trigger that approves a PO, a purchase order, and so on. Here it's like a basic one that for me was like extremely useful to automate these steps. So going back into our process, the last section I want to cover is sharing this data and sharing the insights with the rest of the org. So we saw automating input, automating processing, automating workflows. Now it's scalably sharing it out to everyone else. So how do we get from this data model that I already have in Excel into a report or a dashboard that I can share out with the broader organization and get everybody self-serving with BI. So here, there's a very powerful connector between Excel and Power BI that allows you to export that model directly into Power BI. So this is the model I showed you before in Power Pivot. From Excel, you're going to go to File and Publish. And this has the Power BI publishing option. So the first one is you can upload your workbook to Power BI, and it will be like an embedded version of your file. So that's a simple one if you just want to share it out. But the other one is exporting the whole model. So all your connections, all your Power Queries that you created will be in Power BI, and you'll be able to just set a refresh frequency for that and share it with others. So once it's completed, it gives a business bar in Excel showing that the model has been uploaded. And here I go into the Power BI online editor and start using the data whatever way I want. So I can in this case, create a bar chart where I'm going to show the programs and the quantities. So this, what's really nice about it is you have to, another of the steps I would do every week was send the weekly report. So I would like do the process, then send it to a distribution list, make sure I added the right person who just joined the org, and so on. And after I put this together, it was just, hey, here's the link. People would save it, and that was one fewer step. So down to like even less time on that churn and constant repeated like work that needs to be done to be able to focus on like actual business problems. So what this led to was being able to focus on high impact problems instead of data processing problems. This in turn meant that we were paying more attention to all these metrics, and in the case of supply chain planning, was a lower inventory, fewer stockouts, higher service levels, more accuracy and velocity in the process. Now I can have the report updated every day instead of every week. I can have a cycle that is much faster and much more reactive. A reduced workload on those like tasks that are just doing over and over, and scalability for a growing business, as well as improved team morale. A question that I get often is, well, why don't I do this using Dynamics or this X or Y ERP that I have in my company? If you can, leverage that. At the end of the day, there will always be situations in which it's like, we need this additional workflow. Those tools are not agile and not nimble enough to be able to adapt to many of the businesses. Typically, you need to, like, for big ERPs, you need to implement it and then for a few years kind of re-implement it. Where here you have the flexibility to do your own workflow. And so this was not in isolation. This was, in many cases, part of a digital transformation, but was a great stepping stone to get results immediately and to be able to take control of your processes in the short term and not depend on IT to put them together. And finally, some good practices after going through this is, as a business user, as an analyst, we need to think different about data, tasks, scalability. It's easy to get a request and start like just whipping your VLOOKUP up and running the ad hoc analysis. But if you take just a second and say, okay, do I need to do this next week? If the answer is yes, I'll just set up a Power Query, set up automation for it, and for the next like 25, 50 weeks where that report will be useful, it will be taken care of. Data quality becomes much more important because you're not gonna be handling and manipulating it as much as you were. So it's great to set up additional queries for validation. So I set up this massive spreadsheets that were just validations on, do I have like all the plant codes? Do I have all the weeks in the horizon? Because sometimes the demand planning team would miss like the last 3 months or different things. So data quality becomes really important, and it's important for you to hold your partner teams accountable to it. This just allows you to do it in a much more scalable way, because when you're making it manually, it's hard to check and remember to check every time those last 3 months of the data. Here, the ownership model has to come from the owners, from the people running the process. IT needs to enable tools and needs to enable, for instance, connecting to the databases, to the SQL servers, to SAP tables. But at the end of the day, it cannot be pushed into users because this is something that it's relatively ad hoc. So cannot be tops down. Needs to start with people running the process. And it's really good to have like champions or advocates. So in the team, I was helping people out if they had questions about it before me. There was someone who like really knew about Power Pivot and hosted a series of rotating sessions. Like each week, we're gonna sit an hour and a half and talk about different topics about data analysis. So one day we covered Power Query, one day we covered Power Pivot, and it just like created that momentum in the org to really leverage it. And it's fascinating because I left the org over a year ago, and in putting this content together, I reached out to people who I was working with just to make sure it made sense and get ideas on how to present it. And like they're doing stuff that I never thought at that point. That is really cool to see like that lives on in the business user. So with this, I end the session. I have several resources here in the form of, and this content will be published in the portal, in the conference site, so make sure to check it out to have all the direct links. But this is great. These are great resources. So you have documentation for Flow, for Power BI, and resources on Excel, so our blog. Make sure to join our tech community, which has great resources. Here's the link if you want to join it. And also make sure to check the Excel sessions. We have one this afternoon on advanced modeling using dynamic arrays. And we have several others that many were yesterday or this morning, so make sure to check the recordings as well if you're interested. I'll stick around if you have any questions or just want to talk about any of your experiences. So thanks so much for coming.